Hello, this is 2Samuel already done the Radiant Reflections podcast, and it's in continuation to what we've been discussing regarding the story of Amnon, Tamar, and Absalom. And I just want to share something quick with us women, ladies, and women in general, regarding your feelings of men for us, most especially the single ladies. In fact, this is targeted at single ladies. Single ladies, lend me your ears. Lend me your ears. I'm not going to pamper you in this video. I'm just going to tell you the truth from the heart of a sister that cares and that loves you and that wants to see you do well and make right choices. If you look at the story of Absalom, Amnon, and Tamar in 2 Samuel chapter 13, verse 15. I'm going to read verse 15 to us now. Then Amnon hated her with intense hatred. In fact, he hated her more than he had loved her. Amnon said to her, "Get up and get out." What was happening there? Amnon was a half-brother to Tamar. They are both children of David, King David in the Bible. They are half-brother and half-sister. Amnon had fallen in love. For the people that didn't get to catch up with the previous video, or if I didn't share the previous video on Facebook, let me just do a recap. Amnon fell in love with his half-sister Tamar. Tamar was Absalom's full sister. They have the same mother and father. Amnon was their half-brother. He fell in love with Tamar and he was nursing that feeling, and it was making him to emaciate. He was just crazily in lust with her. But it was described as love, but actually it was lust. So he was deceived. Not deceived. He was given a counsel by Jonadab, who was his cousin, and Jonadab was David's advisor, the son of Shimei. Shimei was David's brother. Shimei was one of the sons of Jesse. So his son, Jonadab, was a counselor, like an advisor to David in the palace. Jonadab gave him a counsel that, what's wrong with you? Why are you so sad and sullen? And he said, I'm in love with my half-sister. I said, this is what you can do. Gave him an advice like a snake that he was. That's Jonadab. Like the snake that he was, and the mission that he was to carry out in the palace. Even if you didn't know, that was the mission that he was planted there to carry out, to cause the division in the house of David. Even though David had already been cursed anyway. Not cursed, but he was already told by God that he was going to bear the repercussion of his sin with Bathsheba, wife of Uriah, and the father that killed Uriah again. That was the instrument that fast-tracked that division in the house of David. When Amnon told his father said he was sick, so his father had to come and see him in his apartment. And he told his father that, that was the counsel that Jonadab gave him. And he told his father that, what will make him get well is for his sister Tamar, his half-sister, to come and cook for him, make bread and their broths or whatever for him. And David sanctioned it. And when Tamar made the bread, he invited her to come and feed him in the room. And from one thing led to another, he raped her. He raped her based on the counsel that Jonadab gave him. And after raping her, the Bible recorded that then Amnon hated her with intense hatred. In fact, he hated her more than he had loved her. Amnon said to her, "Get up and get out." That is the point I want to point. That's what I want to point out in this particular video. And this is the predicament that a lot of these ladies are in. I'm not going to be talking about half sister or half brother, and I'm talking about relationships. There's a guy who is asking you out, is doing a whole lot of things to marry you, to date you. He just wants to have you as his girlfriend, and he's acting as if he's in love with you, and his life will come to an end if he doesn't have you. If you don't say yes to him, it will not be normal. He does a whole lot of things in order to have you. It is that lust. Before I get there, let's continue. Then one day you'll be like, this guy really loves me. Let me give him a chance. Then after giving him a chance, you didn't preserve yourself. You went to bed with him, and he had all the sex with you, and the tension cooled in his body. There's somebody who has been calling you fine for 10 times in a day. He begins to call you once in a week. Then you are wondering what exactly is going on, because there's a power shift now. The power that you had over him before he had sex with you, once he had that sex with you, the power shifted to his side. Now he despises you. After he had satisfied his urge, he has assuaged this urge with the sexual intercourse that you both have together. You're like a piece of shit to him, and this is the reality of a lot of ladies. Then somebody who has been calling you 10 times in a day calls you like once in a week. Sometimes he doesn't even call. You are the one that will be calling and calling and calling till he doesn't even pick your call anymore. Ladies, my counsel in this video is that put some respect on yourself. I know some of you will not accept with me. We women sometimes we like to be lied to, but as a child of God, you might decide to block me after watching this video. It's fine. I'll tell you the truth. As we grow every day, most especially as women, we realize that we hold the upcoming generation the truth rather than sugarcoating lies. Some of these things that we do on the social media just to like not hurt them, but the truth is that they are destroying their lives. Women are making wrong choices because we are not telling them the truth. So I'll tell you the truth, that a man is chasing after you does not mean that he loves you. Some of you have discernment. Some of you have the spirit of discernment. You beyond all reasonable doubt that something in you tells you that this guy doesn't love me like he claims to be. But because you are weak-minded, you fall into the deceit. You go to bed with the guy, then you realize that he just wanted to have a taste of you. Then he despised. That's what happens. The way Amnon despised Tamar is the way they end up despising you when you go to bed with them, because there is a power shift right there. Oftentimes we don't understand the depth of sexual intercourse, and that is why God is telling us that we should restrict it only to the sanctity of marriage. Restrict sexual intercourse only to the sanctity of marriage. I just realized that I didn't use my microphone. I just hope that it's loud enough. Restrict sexual intercourse only to the sanctity of marriage. It is for your own good. Nobody is trying to cage you or trying to limit you or trying to or trying to control you. No. It is because of the protection of your heart, the protection of your dignity, that God tells us to restrict sexual intercourse to marriage alone. If you have been doing this now, you are not condemned. This video is not to condemn you. Grace is available. But you can put a stop to it. You will realize that if you put a stop to it, some of the guys who will come into your life, if you give them a chance and you refuse to sleep with them, they will go. I'm telling you this as the truth. Start that now. Don't have sex with them anymore. When they come and you feel like, okay, I can have something to do with this person, maybe it can lead to marriage. Agree to cut them, but take the sex out of the relationship. You will realize that it's just all lost. Because after a while, they get tired and they flee. Please protect yourself. Don't make yourself a piece of garbage for somebody to... Don't allow anybody to desecrate you and make you a piece of garbage. Sexual intercourse is extremely powerful and it's something that should be restricted to the confines of marriage. Preserve your dignity. Don't let your virtues be looted. As a woman, you have a lot of treasures that are embedded in you. And I tell you, from woman to woman who understands how the spiritual moves, protect yourself. Protect your treasures. Keep those treasures for the beauty of your marriage. Don't let somebody come and loot you and leaves you empty. That they show you that they love you from now to tomorrow just because they want to get into your pants. Once they get into your pants, that's the end. Then they treat you like a piece of shit, and now you are nursing trauma, you are nursing a break, you are nursing low self-esteem. You don't need that. Please protect your dignity. I love you, and I hope this video speaks to a portion of your heart that will make you have a rethink so that you can retrace yourself. My name is 2Samuel, and this is the Radiant Reflections podcast. I think we've come to an end of the story of Amnon, Absalom, and Tamar. If I didn't share the first 2 episodes on Facebook, you can catch up with it on my TikTok. I do more of the videos on TikTok these days because it's not easy to just be managing different social platforms anyhow. And I do more of the Radiant Reflections on TikTok. So you might want to catch up with me there. And I'll be very happy to welcome you there. God bless you. Have a nice day. Bye.